Today we're going to make cherry scones. One of our subscribers asked if we could find the recipe from Arizmendi Bakery in Oakland, California, to see if we could replicate the scones that they sold. One of our other subscribers, thankfully, sent in a recipe for them, so today I'm going to make them. Let's get started. Okay, so we have 2 cups of flour here, 240 grams, a cup and a half of cornmeal, which is 225 grams. Oh, I've lost my whisks. Hold on. We have 2/3 cup of sugar. I'm going to pour that in there. Let's see, this is half a teaspoon of baking soda. Oh my goodness. A tablespoon of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of salt. Done. And I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of cherries, which is about 120 grams depending on the cherries. And I'm going to put them in here and coat them with that mixture that we have so far, and that'll help keep them afloat. Okay, and the next thing that is called for is cutting the butter in. I like to take my butter, put it in the freezer for a little bit, and use a box grater. And for this type of recipe, you can actually do this. Pie dough, maybe not so much. And then I put it into the mixture and mix it in with my hands. And that way it's the size that it's supposed to be. And there isn't all of that cutting in and worrying that you're touching the dough too much and flattening everything out. You just work this into that. Get little pieces, and if it's really, really cold, this isn't quite as cold as I like it, but it's still breaking apart. It just fluffs in there. And then you've got a perfect butter ratio to everything. Big chunks, you want those to pop as it's baking. And then we're going to make a well in the middle of this. And we've got some buttermilk here, a cup and a quarter. I'm going to put that in and just start stirring that in. You just don't want to overstir, you just want to make it wet. And I think I'll let that be for the time being. And I'm just going to flip that with my hands quickly because I think there's some trapped flour, but sometimes it just gets easier to use your hands. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, so now we're going to take our sheet pan. I've got a piece of parchment paper here, and I'm taking my ice cream scoop, and I'm going to just evenly size these. I'm only going to put 8 on the sheet instead of the customary 12 because they do split. And I can see all of the butter in there very nicely dispersed. And this time the cherries are evenly dispersed as well. I can still feel the coldness of the butter, but it's not as cold as I want it. So I am going to put these in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes to cool that off, because if they go into the oven with really cold butter, it's going to pop, boop, and make this whole thing rise. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, put these in the refrigerator, and cool them off. Okay, so these have been in the refrigerator for probably 10 minutes, and you can see the butter chunks in there, and that's what you want. They're not huge, but they're just pieces of butter that are going to pop and make everything around them expand. I'm going to push these down just a little bit so they'll hold the sugar that we're about to put on them. And then we're going to take some crunchy brown and chunky sugar, sanding sugar, whatever you use, and put them on the top. Okay, and then we're going to put these in the oven for about 20 minutes and we'll come back and check them. Okay, we're at the 25-minute mark, and I think these are looking pretty good. I hope these look familiar to those of you who know where these are coming from. And here they are. They look beautiful. They're crunchy and the cherries are dispersed nicely through them. Okay, so these have cooled off just a little bit. The bottoms of them look perfect. The crunchy top, the sugar on the top just is crunchy and delicious looking. And I love the way the cherries are mixed all the way through. You get a cherry in every bite. It's delicious. That crunch on the top is just divine. It's almost like eating a muffin top. That's why they're so good. Remember the Seinfeld where everybody was buying, they tried to cook muffin tops? This is them. They're really good. And there we have our round scones. It's a cherry scone. There we have our cherry scone. Thank you.